Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm very excited to be at Silverstone Festival. So a 3-day festival here at Silverstone with loads of historic racing, etc. But I'm actually here for the Iconics auctions. They've got 3 auctions. One is the race car auction, one is a collector's car auction, and one is the classic car auction. And I'm out here outside in the classic cars. So today's video is just going to walk around some of the highlights of the cars out here for the classic auction. I'll have a look around them and show you what they sold for. So Ferrari 360 here, 2002 Spider. It's a manual. Apparently it's been off the road for quite a long time, which would explain the relatively cheap guide price of 45 to 50. I also spotted the driver's seat bolster is extremely worn. And it looks like the door rubbers aren't in great condition along here, for example. 69,000 miles. Beautifully displayed engine though, as Ferrari do so well. And it's, you know, a relatively cheap Ferrari nowadays, this. Quite how much work and how expensive it would be to bring this up to standard, recommission it, etc. I don't know. But still, 400 horsepower, naturally aspirated manual Ferrari for kind of 40,000 or so, 45,000. I think it might struggle to sell. The back of this windscreen is in pretty bad condition. Some of this roof has, I don't know if it'll show up, just some minor nicks, tears in it, and generally looks a bit worn condition, so certainly not the best example, which explains the, as I say, the relatively cheap guide price. Here's a Jensen Interceptor, so a convertible, which are very rare, and quite an unusual colour for an Interceptor. I think there was only a few hundred, maybe 400 or so of these convertible Interceptors. Actually, it says I'm just reading 267 produced. So this was an American car converted to right-hand drive back in the late 80s. It's recently had the gearbox and torque converter replaced a few thousand miles ago. I mean, it doesn't look in fantastic condition, considering that the guide price is 40 to 50,000 pounds. I mean, I've seen Interceptors, not convertibles, but go for a lot less than this in much better condition. Although I can't get in here, you might be able to see there some, you know, major tears, I would say, on the driver's seat trim. So I personally can't see it making anywhere near 40 to 50, but I could be wrong. This is a really beautiful Rover P5B. One of the best conditioned ones I've seen, actually. 1968, only 2 owners and 38,000 miles from new. It's had a full engine rebuild, 3.5 litre V8, and it looks in excellent condition. As I say, one of the best ones I've seen, and guided as one of the most expensive guide prices I've seen for a while for these as well. It's 15 to 18,000 pounds, but it is excellent condition and such low mileage. Interior shows a little more sign of wear on the wood and the seats, as you'd expect from a 1960s car, but really very good, and probably one of the better Rover P5s you're going to find. It's an R129 Mercedes SL320. So these 1999 would have been a V6 rather than the straight 6. This is extremely low mileage, I think 32,000 miles, and only 2 owners. But it's in kind of average condition. It looks okay, mostly the paintwork. There's some interesting corrosion on the exhaust pipe here. The panels all look straight, and generally the paintwork is good. But it does have some issues at the front here. You can see down here. So these are increasing in price. This is 15 to 20,000 pounds. There's some corrosion on the wheels as well. I'm not sure it's going to make the top end of that, maybe low teens. 1973 C3 Corvette Stingray. This is a fairly rare, or at least I don't see many, big block 454 cubic inch. So what's that, 7 litre V8? I think it's kind of average quality. I'm not quite sure about the paperwork on this. It says it's had some work It's got some bills, but it's not clear quite how much work it's had done. Imported about 10 years ago to the UK. The major issue on this, there's some kind of dings down the side of the door, car park dents, and on the roof, some of the paint isn't great. But actually, it's the paintwork on the bonnet here, which again might not come out. It's got lots of bubbling here, so that would really need a respray, and on the front bumper as well. And it's guided at £20,000 to £25,000. I'm not sure what premium the big blocks carry over the small block engines in these C3s, but that kind of guide price would seem about right for a good condition one. 1987 XR2 Fiesta, so Mark II. And this is guided at £8,000 to £10,000. I think this is quite a good buy because it looks better conditioned than many I've seen. It's only 2 owners and 76,000 miles. Interior, although I can't get in, looks really very good. I can't see any rust on this. A lot of these rusting quite badly. I reckon that could be a good buy at that kind of price. I'd be surprised if this doesn't make a bit more than that actually. I've seen some, I'd say fairly ropey ones go for that kind of money. It looks like the original pepper pot alloys. That's a nice looking car. Here's a 1988 Mercedes 500 SE. So these were 5 litre V8 of course. Not quite clear what service history, and it doesn't state the mileage. What it does say is that it had a 450-hour restoration in 2020. And it looks very good. I wouldn't say the paintwork looks excellent. So I'm not sure what they did to the paintwork at that time. I'm not saying it's bad, but you know, there's a bit of a ding there. There's some damage on this front wing. Certainly a lot of swirl marks. But this is guided at £8,000 to £10,000. I reckon that's pretty good value. I'd have to look in detail at exactly what it had in terms of the restoration. But certainly that number of hours on the car, it must have had quite a lot doing to it, mechanical overhaul, etc. So that could be a pretty good buy, you know. Interesting E30 here, E30 325i. So obviously a 2.5 litre 6-cylinder engine, auto box. It's on lowering springs. It's had a load of work done to it by I think a celebrity mechanic on a TV program. I don't watch TV, so I have no idea about that. But it's no reserve. I think it's seen better days. It was a Category C insurance write-off quite a number of years ago. You know, it's not cosmetically the best. There's quite a bit of filler, I think, and some rust patches. But it's had a load spent on it, and it's in, I think, what you call very usable condition. Have a look at the sunroof. It doesn't look too bad round the sunroof. But these E30s just seem to rise in price, even for average versions. So at no reserve, they're estimating £3,000 to £5,000. I reckon that's a good buy, and you're not going to lose any money. If you just want a modern classic to run around in, use for a while, sell again, I doubt you'll lose any money on this. 3 Triumph Stag here, guided at £8,000 to £10,000. I think it's in a kind of average condition, definitely average condition. It's this mimosa yellow, they call it. Some rust on the arches coming through here. It's definitely a slight project. That looks a bit more substantial rust there. Had a few thousand spent on it, rebuilding carburetors, etc. over the last few years. But yeah, it's fairly average condition, but you know, that's probably as cheap as you're going to find a Stag nowadays, isn't it? Yeah, I guess the rust here could be fairly significant because it's poking through in a lot of areas. I think you've got to be pretty brave to buy one of these that's in this kind of condition. Even though it seems cheap on the face of it, it's probably a false economy. You could probably get a decent one in the teens. Whilst that's a lot more money, it may be a lot less pain. So this could be the cheapest BMW M3 you ever see. E46 M3. It's cheap for a reason, because it's in pretty bad condition. The bonnet is in terrible paint condition. It never really comes out on camera, but it's awful. Needs a respray. Really bad corrosion on the alloys. It's a manual, £129,000, but it's no reserve. They estimate 8 to 10. I mean, it really is in pretty poor condition. You can see all this corrosion on the wing mirrors. Interior doesn't look much better. You know, that driver's seat is really badly worn. Manual gearbox, the knob is pretty worn as well. I reckon this is going to go for around £7,000 is my guess. Here's a 1986 Mercedes 560 SEL, so this was top of the range, 5.6 litre V8, around about 300 horsepower, which for these kind of cars was huge back in the day. This is 137,000 miles, but it looks in really excellent condition. Although I can't get inside, the interior is really very good. It's got a good service history. I haven't, it's unclear quite how many service stamps it's got. There's a bit of a dent here in the back of the bumper. But for such a high mileage car, it's very good. There's a bit of lacquer peel here. It's no reserve though. So this could be a really good buy. They've estimated at £6,000 to £8,000. I reckon if this goes kind of £5,000 to £6,000, that'll be a great buy. They are very expensive to maintain though, if something goes wrong, so a bit of a high risk car. Long MOT though. There are several Maserati 4200 GTs here. Featuring this one because it's a manual and it's exceptionally low mileage, 20,000 or so miles. Sorry, we've still got the touring cars, I'm afraid. So this is a Ferrari shared 4.2 V8, of course. 385 horsepower. And for me, the more desirable manual 6-speed gearbox. They did the F1 style gearbox, so-called Cambio Corsa in this car. This has got some damage on the back here on this bumper. Otherwise, it looks actually really very good condition. And this is actually, there's some slight, past car park dings on the side of the door there, and it needs a bit of a polish. There's quite a few swirl marks, but that's a detail. Alloys could probably do with a bit of a refurb. Guided at £12,000 to £15,000 and only 20,000 miles. Someone, I think, last owner probably had some quite long fingernails. It's quite scratched there. Yeah, and why I think that's interesting, because there was one, I think, slightly lower mileage that sold at Manor Park for quite a bit more than that. So this could be a relatively good buy. Serviced about 1,000 miles ago, but it's not quite clear how good the full service history is. Phase 3 CLIO Williams here. These are 2 litre, 145 horsepower. It's only 2 owners, this. It describes it as excellent condition. Looks fairly good. It's definitely not excellent. There's quite a few scuffs on the paintwork, minor scratches. But a 2-owner car that's been owned since 2000. Didn't say the mileage, but I've just seen in there it's 88,000. And it's a nice looking car. These the earlier ones, I think it's the phase 1s that are the most valuable. This one's guided at £15,000 to £18,000. Interesting car here, CLS 63 AMG. So this is 6.2 naturally aspirated M156 AMG engine. And interesting because this is probably one of the cheapest ways into that legendary engine. So these CLS 63s are pretty good value now, I think. This is guided at £9,000 to £11,000. It's a 2006 with 93,000 miles. It's got a really excellent service history. It's a little bit tatty, I've seen some marks on it, etc. But I guess the other thing to note on these is that I believe you can get some issues at the top end of this engine on high mileage, as people say up to 100,000 miles and you're going to start needing some top end work. I don't know how true that is, but that's from some people who know these engines quite well. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's some minor damage on the arches and stuff, but as I say, if you and a bit of a fogging and discoloured headlight here. But you know, if you want a M156 engine car for 10 grand, it's probably a good bet. So I hadn't realised when I filmed the Phase 3 CLIO Williams that there was actually a Phase 1 here. So these were much rarer, I think only 400 or so of these. 20 to 25 grand this is estimated at. Couldn't see the mileage. Full respray, but that was 20 years ago. That looks like 80,000 miles on the clock. These are obviously much rarer, much more desirable than the Phase 2 and 3. It's quite a lot of money though. Looks in very good condition. Another very interesting car here, so an E46 M3. This was purchased in 2021 and then has undergone a full nut and bolt restoration, rebuild. Obviously fully resprayed, etc. as well. So these were with the S54 engine, 330 odd horsepower, straight six, manual gearbox in this one. And so this is effectively an as new car because it's been rebuilt to standards, factory spec. Yeah, incredible that someone would even do that, to be honest with you. 1,500 hour rebuild apparently. Well, it's obviously used seats, so not quite as new, but again, find another one that's in such exceptional condition. And then onto another fully restored car, so this Ford Fiesta Mark 1 XR2. It's been in the same family ownership. This is 1983 for about 30 years or so. It was sawned for a long time, from about 2004. It's got the old pepper pot alloys, and then they restored it. A full bare shell respray, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Interior as well. Yeah, lovely car. It's guided at 22 to 26,000 pounds. I know it's fully restored and it is beautiful, but it's an awful lot of money for a Mark 1 Fiesta. Yes, it's an XR2, and interested to see if it makes this. I'm not quite sure to reach those heights. So just wandering past some of these race cars, which I'm not actually going to feature. I've been finishing off looking at some of the last of the classic cars that were inside the hall. I have to say, not massively impressed with the non-collector car, ordinary classic car auction, but I think that's probably because I was spoilt slightly by looking at just the exceptional quality in the collector's car auction, and I went to the classics afterwards, so watch out for the collector car auction video that I'll do, because there's some really outstanding cars there. I suppose there's just the normal range of classics, you know, quite a few rusty and slightly ropey cars, if I'm honest. There were some good cars as well, don't get me wrong. Potential bargains as well, some no reserve cars. I quite like the look of that 560 SEL at no reserve, and also the E30 BMW, for example. Nothing particularly grabbed my fancy, I have to say, and I don't think I'll be bidding on anything at this weekend, to be honest. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll be back at more auctions soon, and do watch out for the collector's car auction video that I'll be doing from Silverstone as well.